Okay, so I got to share this story from a campaign I ran. It went on for years, like 3 years maybe. And the party, they basically adopted this NPC, Borin, grizzled old half-elf guard captain, retired.
Oh, yeah. The ones they latch onto are never the ones you expect.
Exactly. He was just supposed to give them one job.
Yeah.
But he ends up being like their moral compass.
Yeah.
Their backup in a fight, the guy who always somehow fixed their cart, and the guy who made objectively terrible chili.
Huh. Borin the Chili Master. Every group needs one. He sounds like a kind of character that makes a game really stick with you.
Totally. People drew fan art of Borin, more than some of the actual PCs. Anyway, we hit this huge climax fighting a major fiend deep in the Shadowfell. And Borin, bless him, decides his job is to stand right in front of the party wizard.
Oh, no. Protecting the squishy one? Noble, but risky.
Yeah. The fiend lands this massive critical hit on him. Just boom. Not even a saving throw. Just instant dust. Gone.
Oof. That's rough. Especially for an NPC they really connected with. That suddenness, that loss, it changes the whole feel of the table.
It really did. We just kind of sat there for a minute, staring at our character sheets.
Right.
It wasn't just his death. It was the realization like, oh, crap, we're kind of lost now.
Yeah.
Vulnerable. And definitely chilliless.
That feeling, though, that shock, that real sense of loss and suddenly higher stakes, that's the core of good horror gaming, I think, when you realize nobody is truly safe.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that feeling, that vulnerability, the understanding that the stakes are cosmically high sometimes, it's the perfect mood for what we're going to get into today.
Couldn't agree more. It sets the stage perfectly.
So welcome back, everyone, to our weekly look at classic role-playing stuff. Last week's discussion on TTRPG fandom seemed to really hit a nerve.
Yeah.
Lots of new viewers, lots of comments, which is awesome.
Yeah, great discussion. And for those of you returning to follow along with our journey into Ravenloft, hey, welcome back. We're thrilled you're here.
It's kind of wild, actually. Thinking back almost a year ago, we started this whole thing as just like an easy way to chat about these old TSR books.
Right, like something to do in the car, and now, what is it, 53 discussions later?
53. And it's just grown into this much deeper exploration than we ever planned. So seriously, thanks to every single one of you tuning in.
Absolutely, we really appreciate it.
Okay, so today we are digging into 1991's Ship of Horror. That's TSR Module RA2, for those keeping score. And wow, this one. It's a foundational piece of classic Ravenloft.
Oh, absolutely. Foundational. And honestly, one of the most chilling, mechanically interesting adventures they put out for the setting. It's not just some random ghost ship story.
Right. This adventure is specifically designed to fulfill the second passage of that huge prophecy tied into the Grand Conjunction, the Great Upheaval.
That's the key thing. The entire fate of the Demiplane of Dread is kind of riding on what happens on this one cursed boat. It has massive meta-plot implications.
So the prophecy, the second bit, it goes, "The lifeless child of stern mother found, heralds a time, night of evil unbound." If that child is basically the cargo.
Yeah, the doomed cargo.
Then this ship isn't just a setting. It's like the mechanism Aslan needs to make his whole catastrophe happen, right? It's a cosmological requirement.
That's exactly it. You've nailed the crucial point. This ship, the Endurance, is less a place and more a vital cog in this horrifying machine meant to kickstart the Great Upheaval. It's fulfilling Hiskosa's Hexed, that prophecy written way back when.
And the story focuses on the ship, the Endurance, and its captain Garvyn, both cursed. He's fated to just sail forever, basically, bringing unlucky souls into the mists.
Pretty much. Internal ferryman of the damned heading straight for Ravenloft.
It's such a great setup. You think you're signing on for, I don't know, a quick delivery, maybe passage somewhere safe.
And bam, one-way ticket to becoming part of a cosmic horror story.
Right.
And you're actually helping break reality without even knowing it.
Wild. Okay, before we properly set sail on this nightmare voyage, just a quick reminder, folks, please do hit like, subscribe if you haven't, share this around, maybe ring that little notification bell.
Yeah, it genuinely helps us keep finding and talking about these amazing old adventures. And don't forget, you can find all our previous chats, plus those free PDFs we mentioned, usually every Saturday night. Just search Triptogram Productions on YouTube.
We really want you to be able to see the maps and the art while we're talking about it. It adds so much.
Definitely. Okay, Ship of Horror. Let's go.
Right, so let's set the scene first, this Grand Conjunction thing. Why is this one adventure? It's for levels 8 to 10, right? Why is it so incredibly important in the big Ravenloft picture?
Because it's directly plugged into the biggest crisis the Demiplane of Dread ever faced, the Grand Conjunction. It was all kicked off by Aslan Rex, the Lich Lord of Darkon. He was desperate, utterly desperate to escape his Ravenloft prison.
So he basically tried to, like, overload the whole system, break it from the inside.
That's a good way to put it.
He overloaded it.
The event literally cracked the Demiplane open for a while. The misty border itself just shattered temporarily.
Whoa. So things could get out. Dark Lord's escaping.
Yep. Evil spilled out into the prime material plane. But crucially, it also meant the mists could snatch unsuspecting people, like the player characters, in as reality tried to snap back together.
So it wasn't just like spiritual chaos.
Yeah.
It was actual physical, geographical chaos, too. Domains moving around.
Oh, massively. Think of it like reality having tectonic plates, and they all just started shifting. The reshuffling was huge and had lasting effects. Velichan, for instance, rotated 90 degrees.
So it just spun.
Yeah, which suddenly gave it access to the Sea of Sorrows, which it never had before. Arkovia got completely displaced, lost for a while, then rediscovered as an island, and its whole climate changed from temperate forests to, like, oppressive jungle. The world was just fundamentally unstable.
And this instability, this chaos, it let new domains form, right?
Yeah.
Is this where the Sea of Sorrows gets its first Dark Lord, Meridoth?
Exactly. Meridoth, who we'll definitely get to later, his domain, Neblictoad, pops up.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the books say it expands later to form the Nocturnal Sea as sort of a delayed reaction to the conjunction.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole mess is the trigger.
So the ship, the player's board, the endurance, it's a key part of setting all that massive, terrifying change in motion. It's literally about fulfilling destiny.
Precisely, which makes getting the players on the ship pretty crucial.
Yeah, how do they get tricked into this?
Yeah.
The module's pretty clever, gives you two ways in, depending on whether the players are, already lost in the mists or just regular adventurers from somewhere else.
Classic TSR design, right? Making it flexible enough to drop into almost any campaign, Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, wherever.
Okay, option 1. PCs are outside Ravenloft. They see this notice, probably in a tavern. Handsome payment for easy work. Sounds good, right?
Always a red flag.
Totally. It's for a quick delivery job, supposedly. A hurried voyage, just 7 days. Quick and easy.
And the pay is designed to be tempting for characters around that level, 8th to 10th, like 400 to 650 gold each. That's serious cash for a week's sailing.
The story is the cargo's silk and jewels for some rich merchant's daughter's wedding. Captain Garvyn is desperate to leave now because he loses 15% of his fee for every day he's late.
So there's that manufactured urgency. Greed is the hook. Get them on board fast before they ask too many questions.
And if the players hesitate, the module suggests the crew, or Garvyn, really pushes the quick and easy angle, or maybe the DM throws in some external pressure trouble with the town guard. A sudden plague scare anything to make them want to get out of town fast.
Ravenloft giving you that helpful nudge towards doom. Option 2 is if the PCs are already stuck in Ravenloft somewhere.
Right. Maybe they run into Vincenzia, the Vistani seer. She's kind of cool, pops up in a few places.
Yeah, she's like this neutral observer of fate. She might advise them, hey, seek passage on a tall ship the captain claims he's found a way out of Ravenloft.
Which is the ultimate temptation for anyone trapped there. The biggest lie you could tell them.
Exactly. So either way, they end up stepping onto the deck of the Endurance, and initially, it looks great.
Yeah, the description is pretty impressive. Handsome, sturdy cross between a galleon and a frigate, about 165 feet long. Looks like it's kept in perfect condition.
Immaculate repair, yeah. Figurehead's Poseidon, holding a trident and a seahorse. No keeling paint, no dodgy ropes. It looks like the safest bet on the docks.
The perfect disguise for a floating coffin.
It's the ultimate Trojan horse, absolutely. Which brings us to Captain Garvyn. He sounds capable enough. 8th level fighter, tall, lean, intense eyes, salt and pepper beard, but he is completely, utterly stuck on this ship.
That's the first big clue. Something's deeply wrong, isn't it? He physically cannot leave.
Cannot leave. He hits an invisible barrier if he tries to step onto the dock or even into a rowboat tied alongside.
Wow. And the curse itself, the mechanics are just brutal.
Oh, they perfectly capture that inescapable Ravenloft feeling. The ship is basically its own tiny mobile domain.
Yeah.
If the Endurance is ever destroyed, sunk in a storm, smashed in a fight, even if Garvyn tries to scuttle it himself, Ravenloft just rebuilds it.
Rebuilds it, like, completely.
Exactly as it was. Down to the last nail, every crate in the hold, every personal item in the cabins reappears within 24 hours. The ship is a physical tendril of the demiplane.
That's terrifying. So sinking the ship is just hitting a reset button. It removes any hope of escape through destruction.
Total cosmic horror. No escape, no release, just repetition. Garvyn isn't just cursed. He's effectively the Dark Lord of this tiny, miserable, floating prison, and that is his punishment.
So what did he do? It always comes down to a personal sin in Ravenloft, right? Some terrible choice.
Yep. Garvin's sin was greed leading to desecration. He was hired by this wealthy family. The Grabens, we'll meet them later. There's something else.
Grave robbers, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. They hired Garvyn to transport the bodies of some of their relatives to a family mausoleum for proper burial. But Garvyn got greedy.
He took the money.
Took the money, and instead of sailing all the way, he just dumped 3 of the bodies overboard, saved himself time, kept the full payment, defiled the dead, broke the sacred trust of burial. That's why he's cursed.
Okay, so the players are on board. Day 1 might be okay, just finding their sea legs, but the module starts messing with them physically almost immediately.
Right, the seasickness rules. It's such a simple thing, but really effective in 2nd edition. You gotta make constitution checks.
And if you fail?
It's bad! -2 to attack rolls, -4 to dexterity checks. Your AC gets worse, and spellcasters have to make checks just to avoid losing their spells when they cast them.
Whoa. So it's not just role-playing being queasy. It actually makes you significantly weaker and less effective right from the start.
Yeah.
Great way to build vulnerability.
Exactly. You start the adventure feeling miserable and slightly incompetent. Then day 2 brings a storm, good opportunity for some chaos, maybe securing rigging, taking a tumble.
But day 3, that's when the real spooky stuff starts. The fog.
The fog. That thick, soupy Ravenloft fog rolls in, can't see a thing. Sound gets weird, carries in distorted ways. The module explicitly tells the DM, spook the PCs.
How? Like, what kind of stuff?
Whispers on the wind that sound like their names, phantom footsteps running across the deck above them when no one's there. Just that constant sense of unease, being blind and trapped.
And then the ghosts start showing up. This is how the players get the clues, right? They have to actually interact with the victims.
Yep. No convenient scrolls lying around. First up is Jacob. He's the knocking visitor.
What does he do?
He just appears at night, looks kind of confused, old sailor clothes, knocks on a cabin door, mumbles something like, oh, sorry, wrong cabin, then heads up the ladder to the main deck.
And if you follow him?
Poof, gone. It's subtle, unsettling. A ghost who doesn't even seem sure why he's haunting the place.
Okay, creepy. Then there's Charlotte, the little girl. That sounds way more tragic.
Oh, it is. Classic heartstring-pulling horror. She's maybe 9, white night dress, sobbing because she lost her doll, Clara.
Oh, man. Okay, so you help her find the doll.
If a PC is next to her, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where the ship starts messing with them. She leads the PC down to the cargo deck, to this door that looks like it's just part of the wall, like you never noticed it before.
A hidden door.
Pretty much. Locked. Inside is a small, cold cabin, and there's Clara the doll.
Okay, so you give her the doll back.
Yep. But here's the kicker. The really creepy part. The thing that makes you question reality. The next time you go down to the cargo hold...
Let me guess. The room's gone.
Gone. It's just solid cargo hold wall again. The area, marked special on the map, is just normal wall. But it's noticeably colder there now.
Ooh, that's brilliant. Like the ship itself is gaslighting you.
Yeah.
The realm messing with your perception. That's way scarier than just a jump scare.
Absolutely. Makes you doubt everything. Then you get Madeline Stern. She shows up around midnight, just wailing. Woman in a pink flannel nightgown, clutching a baby blanket, but there's no baby.
Oh, that's grim. Raw grief.
Totally. She's crying out for her son, Morven, who grew up without her. And she blames Garvin's greed for her unrest. If the PCs talk to her, show some sympathy, she'll tell them her name and why she can't rest, but she won't spill the beans about Garvin's sin just yet.
So she's another piece of the puzzle, leading them towards the truth.
Exactly. And after she makes her dramatic exit, kind of floats up to the deck, over the rail, and vanishes into the mist, the fog finally starts to lift.
And that's when they realize.
That's when anyone with navigation skills, or even just making an intelligence check, realizes the stars are wrong. Completely wrong. Unrecognizable constellations. They're not on their world anymore. They've been pulled into Ravenloft.
The penny drops. The easy voyage is officially over.
Big time. And this realization often triggers the module's big transition moment. Sometimes it uses an encounter to really drive it home.
Wait, we have to talk about the giant starfish, because that is just peak weird D&D.
Ah, yeah. It's this massive, 13-hit die monster starfish that literally tries to wrap its arms around the hull and pull the ship under.
13 hit dice. That's tough for level 8-10 characters.
It is, and its stats are designed to mess with typical tactics. It's immune to blunt weapons, so if your party's loaded up on hammers and maces, good luck.
Forces you to use piercing, or maybe spells. Which might be tough if you're still seasick.
Exactly. And get this, if the starfish does manage to sink the ship.
Oh yeah, the reset. Garvin just vanishes.
And the next morning, the Endurance is back. Perfectly fine, fully restored. It's a horrifying, concrete demonstration of the curse. No escape.
Brutal. But starfish or no starfish, this is when the ship itself changes, right? The illusion drops.
Yep. The name on the stern physically changes. No more Endurance. Now it reads, Ship of Horrors, in dripping blood-red letters.
Chilling.
And the ship itself decays instantly. Rigging looks frayed, sails turn gray and tattered, and that nice Poseidon figurehead, replaced by the carving of a weeping hag, all pretense of safety is gone.
Okay, now the players have enough evidence that the ghosts, the weird map stuff, the name change, to really confront Garvin.
Right, and the ghosts kind of nudge them in that direction too, urging them to search his cabin, knowing they need proof.
So they break into his cabin, find his logbooks.
Yep, hidden in a locked trunk. And the logs confirm everything. His deal with the Grabens, the grave robbing, the names of the victims, Charlotte, Jacob, Madeline, and roughly where he dumped their bodies overboard.
So Garvin finally cracks.
He does. Admits the whole shameful thing. He knows he's cursed. And he believes the only way out, the only path to freedom, is atonement. They have to retrieve those 3 bodies and give them a proper burial.
Wow. Okay, so the whole adventure shifts. It's not about escape anymore. It's about a grim salvage operation to break a curse. The players become the agents of potential redemption.
Exactly. It puts them right in the middle of his fate.
Right.
But before we dive into the joys of underwater body retrieval,
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out. We're talking about these adventures from, the early 90s? They're over 30 years old.
True. Amazing they still hold up.
Right. And honestly, we wouldn't be able to sit here and talk about them in this detail if it wasn't for all the folks out there who take the time to scan and upload these old books to places like archive.org. They're preserving this history.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Massive thanks to those digital archivists. They make discussions like this possible.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay, so body retrieval, underwater,
Yeah.
and Ravenloft. This is not going to be easy.
Especially not with second edition rules. You absolutely need magic to breathe down there, right? Like water breathing spells or potions.
Definitely. And the depths are serious. Charlotte's body is 80 feet down. Jacob is at 100 feet. But Madeline, she's way down at 250 feet.
250 feet. Wow. That's deep. That's going to take serious magical resources, especially with old spell durations, maybe multiple castings.
Yeah, the logistics are part of the challenge. Multiple spell slots, maybe scrolls or potions. And the deeper you go, the darker, the colder. The pressure builds, literally and figuratively.
And naturally, it's not just a simple swim down there. There are complications.
Of course. While searching for Charlotte's remains, the party gets jumped by 9 skeletal sharks.
Skeletal sharks. Okay, what's nasty about them?
Well, besides being sharks made of bone, they're immune to cold, fear, sleep, charm, all the usual low-level control stuff. And they only take half damage from piercing weapons like spears or arrows.
So they're tough and resist common tactics.
Nice. And Jacob's search? That's where the giant starfish makes another appearance. It's lurking down there, lodged between some rocks, ready to ambush them. Again, immune to blunt weapons. Forces tactical thinking even underwater.
Man, this adventure really wants you to use different damage types. Okay, so assuming the players survive the sharks and the starfish and actually find the bones, what then?
Then the spirits, now that their remains are recovered, become much more helpful. They start providing real, actionable clues about the villains who started this whole mess, the Graben family.
Right, the ones who hired Garvin. What did the ghosts say?
Charlotte, the little girl, she identifies her parents, Carl and Louisa Riceland, and confirms she died of polio. Just reinforces that these were normal people caught up in something awful.
Okay, what about Jacob, the sailor guy?
Jacob the Cooper, actually, barrel maker. He gives the most direct accusation, says Horst Graben, the eldest son, murdered him.
Murdered him. Well,
Because Jacob suspected the Grabens were rotting graves. He saw something he shouldn't have, so Horst killed him with his own Cooper's tools. Brutal. This ties the Grabens directly to violence, not just desecration.
grim. Does he offer anything else?
Yes. And this is one of my favorite weird little mechanics in this module. Jacob offers to guide the party around Grayan Island, but only if they carry his skeleton with them.
Carry his skeleton, like the actual bones.
The actual bones. And this is crucial. The module specifies you cannot put the skeleton in a bag of holding or any other extra-dimensional space. You have to physically carry it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You have to literally lug a sack of bones around while trying to sneak into the villain's lair. That is fantastic. Imagine the role-playing. The clattering.
Right. It's such a great, tangible piece of immersive horror. Forget efficiency, you're stuck with Boney Jacob.
Okay, what about Madeline, the mother?
Madeline confirms the family's general awfulness. She blames Lucretia Graben, the younger sister, who is apparently a midwife, for being partly responsible for her death. Seems like maybe neglect after childbirth. She also asks specifically not to be buried in Toddstein, where the Grabens wanted her, but in her proper family plot. Oh, and she mentions they stole her sapphire ring. Confirms their greed.
So all signs point to Graven Island. What's it like?
It's described as pretty harsh. Cold, bleak, off the coast of Lamordia and the Sea of Sorrows. The Graben family estate is near the main village.
How do the locals feel about them?
They keep their distance. The Grabens put on this front of being wealthy, reclusive eccentrics. The villagers know they're rich, probably suspect something's weird, but mostly just avoid them.
And the big clue on the island itself is the cemetery, right?
Yep. If the players investigate the local cemetery, all the coffins are empty. Confirms the Grabens aren't just burying their own dead, weirdly. They're stealing everyone else's bodies, too. For what?
This leads to the big reveal about the Grabens themselves. They're not just grave robbers. There's something else.
Something unique and deeply unsettling. They are a specific type of undead called Lebentod.
Lebentod. Living dead, right. What makes them so weird?
Their whole deal is deception. They maintain these apparently normal lives. They have family structures, jobs, skills. They can exist for decades, even centuries, completely hiding their undead nature. They age incredibly slowly, like 1 year for every 10 that pass.
So they could be your neighbors for generations, and you'd never know.
Exactly. Until the shock moment. They only reveal their true nature, transforming into these ghastly, undead forms when they're struck by a magical weapon or a spell.
Whoa, so until you actually hit them with magic, they just look like creepy rich people.
Pretty much. Polite, maybe a bit stiff, always dressed in dark clothes. They might serve you tea right before you realize you need to stab them with a magic dagger.
Okay, that's unnerving. But there's something else, isn't there? Something really bizarre about them physically.
Oh, yeah. This is the detail that pushes it into pure body horror and confirms they're connected to Meridoth. The Lebentod can detach and reattach their limbs and their heads at will.
Wait, what? They could just pop their heads off?
Casually, the module gives this incredible example. Imagine sneaking into the mansion and finding Lucretia Graben, the mother, in her bedroom. She's doing her hair, but her head is sitting on the vanity table next to her, watching her hands adjust her bun.
No, that's profoundly disturbing. That completely breaks your expectations of how undead work. They're not shambling corpses. They're calmly disassembling themselves.
Right. It's not gore, it's the wrongness of it, the sheer casualness. That tells you immediately you're dealing with something alien, something Meridoth cooked up in his lab.
So if the players manage to get into the house, maybe find some records.
They might find the family ledger, yeah. In Colin Graben's study, it details Garvin's transactions, confirms he brought them bodies 6 times, lists the victims, the payments, and crucially, it mentions Meridoth's decree, the order for a steady supply of bodies.
So the Grabens were basically Meridoth's procurement team, funneling courses to his island laboratory.
Exactly. They handled the dirty work, the logistics of his gruesome supply chain.
Okay, so deal with the creepy detachable head family. Check. Now the party knows the real source of the problem. Meridoth, on his island, Toddstein.
Yep, the final destination. Toddstein is the island domain of Nebligtoad, and Meridoth is its Dark Lord.
And Toddstein's climate is immediately weird, right? It's near Graben Island, but it's Arctic.
Totally Arctic. Freezing cold, like -60 in winter, snow, permafrost. And it's all artificial, maintained by Meridoth's custom 9th level spell, Transmute Snow to Stone.
He turned snow into stone to build his island defenses.
Pretty much. The whole island is his frozen fortress, built on hostile environment design. Meridoth himself is a monster, a 20th level necromancer.
20th level. That's endgame power. What's his deal? His philosophy?
He sees life as just raw material, an ongoing experiment. Humans are basically a crop waiting to be harvested for his work. He got pulled into Ravenloft because his necromancy wasn't just about raising the dead. It was twisted, perverted, focused on grotesque biological re-engineering.
And being the Dark Lord gives him serious juice on his own island.
Oh yeah, total control. He knows instantly if anyone sets foot on Toddstein. He controls the sea around it. There's a 50-foot calm zone right by the shore, making it easy to land.
Deceptive.
Totally. But beyond that, for a mile out, the sea is boiling and turbulent. So the endurance can get in, but nothing else can approach or leave easily unless he allows it. Plus, he's immune to attacks from any undead of 5 hit dice or less.
Meaning his own low-level zombie hordes can't hurt him. Convenient.
Very. And Ravenloft itself keeps him alive, way past any normal lifespan, ensuring his horror hole experiments can continue forever.
But he doesn't just rely on brute force, does he? The real horror of his lair is the traps, especially the psychological stuff.
Exactly. Meridoff is a strategist. He focuses on breaking the party down, turning them against each other before the final fight. Which brings us to the Vision Stones.
Okay, tell me about these. They sound nasty.
They're found near the mausoleums on the island in these little purple pouches. Inside are tiny stick figures that look exactly like the player characters.
Whoa. Instant paranoia. How does he know what they look like?
Exactly. And when a PC touches the figure that looks like them, they get this brief, private mental vision. It shows the rest of the party conspiring against that PC.
Oh, that's evil. Like what?
Maybe the vision shows the rogue finding a huge gem and secretly pocketing it, or the wizard telling the cleric that the fighter is just slowing them down and maybe they should leave him behind. It's tailored to sow distrust and paranoia.
And the stone just vanishes afterwards. No proof.
Disintegrates. Gone. So the PC has this horrible suspicion, this seed of doubt planted in their mind, but nothing to show the others. Just their own fear. It's brilliant psychological warfare attacking the party's cohesion.
Undermining the group trust. Brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, what about physical defenses? The mausoleums themselves.
They look like white stone, but if you check closely, they're actually made of that hard-packed snow, the transmute snow to stone stuff. Temporary, but solid.
And guarded.
By 4 huge snow golems. 12 hit dice each. They wear helmets and armor sculpted from snow. They're immune to cold and water attacks, and they breathe cones of cold. They only attack when Meridoff gives a signal, this long, creepy, whining sound on the wind.
Custom elemental guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How do you get into the mausoleums?
It's a puzzle lock, the triple lock system. 3 rows of buttons with symbols, quarter moon eye, skeletal hand flames, skull feather. You have to press the right 2 buttons in each row simultaneously.
Needs coordination. What happens if you mess up?
Classic Ravenloft trap. A tiny poisoned needle pops out, pricks your finger. The poison doesn't do damage, but it causes intense, uncontrollable chills and shivers. Gives you a -2 penalty to Dex and Con for hours.
Debilitating. Stacking penalties before the big fight. Love it. But the nastiest trap is inside, right? The staircase.
Oh, the avalanche trap. It's terrifying. It's this long 40-foot staircase going down into the lair. Meridoff is watching remotely. When the party starts heading down...
He casts stone to snow.
Exactly. The solid stone steps turn instantly into soft snow. Everyone likely tumbles down about 30 feet into this drift.
Okay. Annoying, but survivable?
But wait. 2 rounds later, before they can easily dig out in the dark, he casts snow to stone again.
Oh no. Buried alive. In solid stone.
Yep, instant suffocation trap. If you're buried more than a couple of feet deep, you have to hope you made an air pocket and start making constitution checks to hold your breath, with penalties increasing each round until someone digs you out.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
A potential TBK just from walking downstairs if the party panics or doesn't work together fast enough. Especially if those vision stones already made them suspicious of each other.
It's a masterpiece of environmental terror. Assuming they survive that, they finally get into the lair proper.
Which is just as charming, I bet.
Oh yeah. You pass through skeleton storage, just 40 skeletons hanging around. Then the skeletal animal pets room.
Skeletal pet.
100 animated skeletons of various creatures. Squirrels, dogs, bears, even a skeletal elephant. It's like his grotesque, shambling menagerie shows his dedication to experimenting on everything.
Then there's an ice palace, which is also a trap.
Of course. Looks pretty, but the slightest vibration, like walking in hard-soled boots, causes the ceiling to collapse, raining down ice shards and stalactites. More damage, more hazards.
And Meridoff himself, where does he fight?
He fights smart. From a protected balcony, 100 feet up in the main battlefield chamber, lets him rain down spells, animate dead to use the skeletons lying around, vampiric touch, finger of death while being hard to reach.
Classic, powerful spellcaster tactics. And his lab. I bet that's pleasant.
The description alone is designed to make you feel sick. The module says the room hits you with putrid stenches of rot and chemicals. You have to make a con check just walking in to avoid being overcome with nausea for a couple of rounds.
What's in there?
Shelves overflowing with jars of preserved organs, human and animal, neatly labeled. Surgical tools everywhere, scalpels, saws, clamps. It's clearly a workspace dedicated to his eternal, gruesome craft of dissection and reanimation.
Okay, so eventually, hopefully, the party manages to take down this 20th level necromancer psycho. What happens then?
Well, usually in Ravenloft, when a Dark Lord is destroyed, their domain starts to unravel, dissolve back into the mists. So Toad might just vanish.
And the players? Where do they end up?
Could be anywhere, really. Maybe dumped into another part of Ravenloft. Maybe, if the DM is feeling generous, they get returned to their homeworld. The module leaves it open.
And Garvyn? Does burying the bodies actually free him, or is he stuck sailing forever anyway?
That's the big question, isn't it? Did his atonement actually break the curse, satisfy the dark powers? Or was he just a tool for the prophecy, doomed regardless? As always in Ravenloft, the final answer is up to the dungeon master. Maybe freedom, maybe just a slightly less haunted eternity.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag tag outro.
You know, looking back at Ship of Horror today, it really offers so much for a modern, say, 5th edition Ravenloft game. It's way more than just a dungeon crawl on a boat.
I totally agree. Stuff like this, these older modules, they're packed with atmosphere, with really memorable secondary villains like the Grabens.
Oh, the Grabens are amazing villains.
Right, and these complex, unique traps and mechanics that you sometimes don't see as much in modern adventures.
You could absolutely lift the Todd wholesale for a 5e game. That idea of undead who look perfectly normal until magic hits them, and the detachable limbs, pure nightmare fuel. Instant paranoia for your players about every NPC.
Totally. Make those seemingly helpful villagers suddenly pull their own heads off. That'll shake things up. And the traps. Those vision stones. Genius. A low-impact way, mechanically anyway, to introduce serious psychological horror and party friction. It attacks their trust, not just their hit points.
Yeah, it's all about that creeping dread and uncertainty. We've covered a lot today, really dug into a module that was surprisingly central to the whole Ravenloft cosmology. Not just a spooky boat trip, but like you said, a fate delivery service.
It really was. Hey, if you want to see the maps and read the original descriptions, we've put a link to the PDF of this adventure in the description below. Check it out.
Please do. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, tell us about your favorite classic D&D adventure, or maybe something about Ship of Horror we didn't touch on. We genuinely enjoy reading your thoughts each week.
Yeah, thanks again for tuning in, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us for these explorations of D&D history.
And we'll be back next week, continuing our journey through classic Ravenloft material as we head towards Halloween. More spooky stuff to come.
Definitely tune in next Saturday night for that. Should be fun.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's leave you with one last thing to chew on, thinking about Captain Garvyn and that ship. If Ravenloft always rebuilt the Endurance perfectly, curse intact after every wreck, was Garvin's quest for atonement ever really about freedom? Or was he just playing out the required steps of his eternal punishment? Was freedom just another illusion, a slightly more comfortable cage?
Ooh, deep. Something to think about next time you board a ship that looks just a little too well maintained.